Hello everyone and welcome to the Dataholics YouTube channel. In this video, I will try to cover all the important concepts in Python. So to be very honest, years ago when I was learning Python, or when I just started to learn Python, it was a very weird feeling that programming is tough, logic building is hard, Python seems to be tough. I have never done coding, I've never done programming. A lot of similar thoughts were in my mind, and it was very scary, honestly, to learn and to start Python, to start learning Python, right? But now when I just just think about these things, it seems that, it was just a unrealistic fear which was actually not there, right? It was just because I have heard someone saying this or something like that. But honestly speaking, right now Python is the easiest programming language which anyone can learn in 2025, and very useful in multiple domains across the IT industry, right? And I'll try my best to present all the concepts in Python as easy as possible, but at the same time covering all the important aspects of every topic, theoretically as well as practically. I'll also be sharing the notes with you, the code and resources, some YouTube videos, some other YouTube videos, of course, and some websites, blogs. I'll share a lot of things which will help us all to learn Python in an easy, efficient manner. And, at the same time, we will be able to explore different material or different content on the internet so that we can feel independent and confident after watching this whole video. So to be very honest, the idea is not to make anybody expert after watching this video, but to make a feeling of independence and confidence that, okay, now I have learned the basics, I have practiced it enough. Now I can work with Python programming language. I can create some codes, and wherever I'll stuck, let's say I have seen a new error, or if there is any topic, any function, anything which we are not aware of, I am confident and I am independent enough that I can research it on Google or any AI model, AI tool, and I can learn about it. My idea is this, to create this video, because I cannot make anybody expert in just one video, right? And so yeah, let's begin with a very small, very important concept. What is programming, first of all, right? Because we always say that Python is a programming language, but what actually is programming and what actually is a programming language? So basically, the programming is something which we use to interact with any computer, right? It's a way to interact with the computer, just like we use some language, like currently we are talking in English, we can use our mother language, mother tongue, to interact with each other and understand. So programming is just a way to interact with the computers, machines. Computer only understands binary language. Binary language consists of two things, 0 and 1 only, nothing else. So whatever we write, whether we write a program in Java, C, C++, Python, or any other language, they are converted into zeros and ones. And that's how computer understands that, oh, this is the code, right? And the source code which we write in Python language or any other programming language, written in any programming language, is converted into binary form based on the ASCII character. For example, if we write 2, computer will understand as 1 0, which is the binary equivalent of 2. Correct? So basically, it's very simple. For example, if I'm an Indian and I am going to talk to a Chinese person, they might be speaking their language. I might not be able to understand it. So I'll need some translator kind of person who will help me to understand the Chinese into English, and help the Chinese person to understand my English, right? So that's exactly the same thing which is happening here, right? There will be instead of translator, in programming languages we have compiler or interpreter. So basically, Python is an interpreter-based language. We are going to see next very soon, right? So this is what is programming. Any software, what is software? Software is nothing but a set of instructions, right? Basically, set of tasks which we want our machines to perform. For example, in our mobile phone, when we click on call button, it makes a call to the other person. How? because there is a code, there is a set of instructions written behind that button, right? So that is logic. Correct. Next, what is Python? So Python is basically a simple language which is very simple and easy to understand due to its syntax and other features. We'll see a lot of features. Why should we use Python? Obviously, there is one more foremost reason is that it is free and open source. Open source means anybody like us can contribute to Python if it is necessary, if it is useful. It is very easy to understand. Sometimes I literally feel that it is English. It is an interpreted language, means the code is executed line by the interpreter, the translator only, at runtime without the need of for a specific compilation step. It's a high level language, means we just have to focus on code. You just do the coding, everything else will be taken care by Python itself, like memory management, resource allocation, and other things, unlike C++ and other languages. It is portable. Portable means Python, the code which we write on any operating system like Windows, it can work on Linux and as well as Mac. So it is interoperable between different operating systems, right? So it helps us to overcome a big challenge. Oops. So Python basically provides us both the programming approach, procedural programming approach, as well as object-oriented programming approach. And trust me, when I studied OOPS, it's one of the most useful concepts in Python because we can mimic the real world concepts. We will discuss about OOPS later on, but yeah, it is a very important feature. It has a large developer base. Since it is free and open source, there is a very large developer community of Python across the globe. People who are contributing to Python, people who are making updates, changes, and all other things, right? And I think that there is no error which we are going to see in our journey, which is not only which is not already available on Stack Overflow or such similar websites. So we can easily resolve any error due to its large community in Python. So it can easily be integrated with other languages, less development time, dynamic typing. We will discuss about it. Scripting language, application. Yeah, this was very important. The application of Python is very vast. So Python has its own libraries. Basically means you can just understand it in a manner like it has a capability, extended capability, right? For web development, machine learning, uh, data analysis, data visualization, automation, big data, and lot of other applications. So it has dedicated libraries for all of these different applications, which makes Python even more useful with extra capabilities, right? So I'll take you to Google, and there are two websites which I personally like very much. One is W3 School. This is not a paid promotion, but I genuinely like this, and Geeks for Geeks. So you can just read about what is Python here also. You can come to Geeks for Geeks Python tutorial and Python introduction, right? So it was created in 1991, simple, readable. It runs seamlessly on different operating systems. It has libraries for different tasks. Also, the use case of Python. See, they are saying that YouTube, the world's largest video sharing platform, uses Python for features like video streaming and backend services. Instagram relies on Python simplicity for scaling and handling millions of users. Spotify is used for Spotify uses Python for backend services and ML to personalize music recommendation. Dropbox, Netflix, Google, Uber, Pinterest. There are lots of world-class applications with millions and billions of users which are using Python for some or the other purposes. Right now, I hope we must understand the vast use case, utility of learning this programming language called Python, right? So let us begin our journey with installation. How do we install Python? It is very simple, just like installing a game in your PC. You will go to Google and write Python download, and you will see the official website. Always remember to download anything and everything from the official website. So python.org, which is the official website, click on download Python. And here you will see this yellow box, download Python 3.1, which is the latest version of Python as when I'm recording this video, right? So you can click on download Python 3.1, 3.7. This is the version, right? And if you want to download any other previous version, which of course you don't want to, but in some cases it might be required. So we can download any of the Python version from here. You see, like this. And here in the download section, the Python is already being downloaded, right? So let it download and then we can install it. It is very simple and easy to download Python, right? Yeah, so I think it is downloaded now. Correct. Yeah, so click on it. Such a window will appear on your screen, and just check this box, add Python exe to path. It is very important for us to open Python in any folder we want, right? It has a lot of other benefits. Yeah. So since I have already installed it, so it is directly asking me to cancel or something. But yeah, once you do that, check this box and click on next, 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 right? And finally finish. Python will be easily downloaded. And if you want to ensure that whether Python is downloaded properly or not, you can just go to command prompt. Command prompt, you type CMD in your search bar, and you will just click on command prompt, right? So here we can check whether Python is properly downloaded in our system or not. How do we do that? Let me show you, right? Such a window will appear when my command prompt opens. So we are into C drive, users folder, and HP drive, right? So I will write Python space dash dash. Just listen to the command very carefully. Many students I have seen that they make mistakes in this. Like Python spelling should be correct. It all should be in lowercase, space dash dash 2 times. Version VERSION, enter. So if your Python has been downloaded properly, it will say it will give the Python version like Python 3.10.4. This is my Python version which I'm currently using in my system. Correct? You might see a different version, but yeah, it should give a version. But if it gives any error, but if you have written the correct command, but it gives an error, so just understand that Python is not properly downloaded. So uninstall it and install it again, right? So this is how we make sure that Python is properly downloaded. After that, I will also recommend you to use Anaconda Navigator. This is an environment in which we have multiple text editors, right? Text editors are like where we write Python code, correct? So you just download Anaconda, free of course. It is a free tool. And inside Anaconda, we can use Jupyter Notebook. So that is another text editor where where we can write Python code like this. So this is the Jupyter Notebook, correct? And also, if nothing works, you can just work on. It is highly recommended also to work on Google Colab, right? What is Google Colab? This is an online Jupyter Notebook kind of thing where you can write the code online. Like it will be saved in your Google Drive, so it will not be deleted, it will not be lost sometimes. And it comes with a lots of already installed things, like pandas is already, different libraries are already installed. So that part is also taken care by Google Colab. So you can use any of these, right? Google Colab like this, collab.google. So it's like a notebook, open Colab, new notebook, right? So here we can also write Python code. So basically, after installation, you can also download Visual Studio Code. What is Visual Studio Code? Let me show you. We will not cram anything. We'll just try to understand everything. So yeah, download VS Code. It is very easy to download and install, right? But if you guys face any problem while downloading or installing Python, Anaconda Navigator, or Jupyter Notebook, or VS Code, just let me know in the comment section. So I'll try to create another separate video for Jupyter for all the downloads and installation of these softwares, right? So this is how Jupyter Notebook is opening. Yeah, right? So in this tutorial, I will majorly use Jupyter Notebook and Anaconda Navigator, of course, right? So I'll tell you about Jupyter Notebook a little bit. So this is how the interface of Jupyter Notebook looks like. It's like a notebook where we have multiple cells. So this is a cell. When you click on plus, we can add new cells, like new pages in a notebook. And when you click on this scissor icon, you can delete any cell, but mind while deleting any cell, because it cannot be re presented here. Undo is not an option here, right? So whether you want to make move up or down any cell, whether you want to run any cell, execute the code, terminate the kernel if you want, to interrupt in between, right? Run all the cells from the top to the bottom. And yeah, so this is all about code. Markdown. Okay, so Markdown is another option here. So where you can use hashtag to mark titles like Python tutorial. and once you click on this run, so it will act like a title, right? So it's a markdown. So this is a cell, code cell, right? So this is the basic interface. This is the name of the notebook. So I can rename it as Python YouTube notes, right? So this is how I can just use Jupyter notebook. Now let us start from the very first topic, and so there is a dedicated curriculum which I'm going to follow. It's my own curriculum, but I will also try to help you, or try to take the concepts from W3 School or Geeks for Geeks, so that we have some content to revise. Right? Many times I have seen a lot of students, because I do a lot of offline and online trainings for Python and data science. So usually what happens after the classes, people don't have any content to refer to unless I share my own notes, code or something. But I don't want you guys to be limited to my notes, my learnings, because I am not an expert in Python. I might not know a lot of concepts. So I will ask you to go on Google and let us research unlimited content. Useful, of course, guided content. That is why I'm telling you only two websites to refer to. If you like any other website, of course, the official documentation of Python or any other blog or any other website, that's absolutely fine. But in this from here, so that we have something to refer to after watching the video, to get notes, to make your own notes, to get the codes and all. Also, in the description of this YouTube video, you will get my Python GitHub repository actually, where all the codes which I'll show in this note in this video, or all of the classes which I generally teach in my classes, all the notes will be presented in the form of a GitHub repository. So you can of course go and download the code from there, like Python classes, and you will see all the class material present here. So that is not an issue. Notes are never an issue, right? All of these. So class wise notes are there. You can go and refer to it anytime, right? So yeah, so just refer to these notes for revision and practice and all. But yeah, let us see everything practically. So the very first concept in Python is logic building. So see, it's very simple. For example, let's say there is any architect who is going to build a house. But before building a house, they create a blueprint. And once they create the blueprint, they start, you know, collecting the raw materials like furniture, like bricks, like cement. There are lots of things. In a very similar manner, when we write a Python code, when we go to write a Python code, we have a lot of raw materials which we need to prepare. And one of those raw materials are called variables. So what are variables? I'll just demonstrate you on a notebook. Variables are the names given to the memory location. The very first thing which we are going to study is variables. What are variables? Like if I write a is equal to 5, b is equal to 5.6, c is equal to Python. All of these are variables. A, B, C, and R are variables. What are variables? Are the names given to memory location. Given to a memory location. So it is very important for us to understand what happens when we write these code. So when I write a is equal to 5, there is a let's say this is your memory, the RAM in our computer. So there will be a space which will be reserved for the variable a. The value will be 5, and it will have some address, just like a house where we live in, and the house has an address. Correct? In a similar manner, there will be a position reserved for a in the memory with the value 5, and it will have an address. How do we see the address? By the function called id, which we will discuss. Correct? Similarly, there will be a space reserved in the memory for b with the value 5, and a variable c will also reserve a space in the memory and with the value Python. Correct? So d is equal to let's say true, e is equal to false, f is equal to 5.6j. All of these are the different types of values. See, 5 is an integer value. If you see, integer means it's a whole, like a number, 5, 6, 7, 8 without any decimal place. 5.6 is a float, right? Python, it's a string. So what are these int, float, strings? These are nothing but the type of value, stored in that variable, which in other words we call as data type. Right? Data type. Data type means type of value is stored in a variable. right? And now data types are of different types, different categories, right? So as I told you, integer are like just numbers without decimals. Floats are numbers with decimals. What are strings? Strings are anything which contains letters, special symbols like at the rate, hashtag, asterisk, anything. And alphanumerics, numeric combination of letters and numbers, everything comes under the umbrella of strings. For example, our address. How do we write an address? Address is equal to, let's say in single quotes, 2 comma uh, Vihar Nagar comma something like this, right? So this is the, so it has a number, it has a comma, it has text and everything. So this is why this is called a string data type. If you see type of address, it will give you an option class string. So this type of address is an object of string class. Basically, what is type function? Okay, yeah. So type is something new. It's an inbuilt function, guys, which we will just understand abhi thodi der mein, right? So type of address will be string. String means any number combination of numbers, characters, anything which can contain characters, special symbols, combination of these alphanumerics and everything comes under the umbrella of string. Then we have another data type called Boolean. Boolean can have only two possible values, true or false. True means 1 and false means 0. This is what computer understands, nothing else, right? Now just imagine, just think about one situation and let me know your answer in the comment section. When we will use Boolean operators, Boolean data types. Pause this video for a second or maybe 5 seconds and just think about it. Whenever we have any comparison operator used, then the output will always be in Boolean. For example, 5 is greater than 7. This has only two possibilities, either true or false. So whenever we compare two things in Python, the output will always be in Boolean. So just while studying, also try to think the applications, the utility. This will help us to understand Python in a much efficient manner, right? So these are the different data types, and these are variables, nothing else. The concept is this much only, as per the basics, as per the beginner level, right? But let us understand it in a structured manner also. So you see, if I come here and variables, right? So in Python variables are containers for storing data values. Okay, and why do we even need variables? The need of variable. Let me tell you one thing. For example, if I'm going to create a Python program to add two numbers, right? So just think it like that. Before adding two numbers, we will have to store it somewhere. Otherwise, how will we add it? Right? So where do we store anything in a variable? A is equal to 5, B is equal to 6, and we will print A plus B. So all of this which we are seeing, print, type, I told you about ID, all of these are inbuilt functions. Okay, now what is inbuilt function? Inbuilt functions are functions or some utility which is already present in Python. We are not creating it. Someone has created it for us so that it's easier for us to use and perform the get the output, perform the application, create the application, right? So inbuilt function, something which is already present, which is already created, and it comes while we download Python, right? So these are inbuilt functions. So print is used to display anything on the screen. Display anything on the screen. Type is used to check the data type, and ID is used to check the address of any variable in the memory. So what this program will do, it will initialize two variables. Basically, it will reserve two positions in the memory, A and B, with the value 5 and 6 respectively, and just print the sum of them. That is what is this program is doing. But just imagine, if we do not have variables, where do we store these values? How do we add it? Right? So that is why we need variables in Python. Now, so we were studying about data types. Let us understand it. Sorry, variables. So x is equal to 5, y is equal to John. Print x, so it will print 5. Print y, it will print John. Now, why do I recommend W3 School? Try it yourself feature. This is a very important good feature, right? So whatever code you write here, you can just simply click on run and you will see the output right in front of you then and there itself. So it's a very efficient manner of practical learning, right? So see, print x, it has printed 5 and it has printed John. Now, if I just take this simple program, copy and take it to Python tutor. So this is a website to visualize the execution of any program, right? So once I paste the code here and click on visualize execution, Python tutor, it helps us to understand the backend operations, right? So see, what I mean is, I just wrote a program and I clicked on run. So I'm able to see the result output. But what happened in the background? How does Python interpret it? What happened in the backend? That is what we can understand here. So see, this red arrow will tell us the line which is going to execute, and this green arrow will tell the line that just executed. So since it is the beginning of the program, no line has executed by till now. So it will tell us about next line to execute, the red arrow. So click next. So you see, as soon as this line has executed, there is a variable called x with the value 5 created in the global frame. See, then so this is the line which has executed line number 1, and this is the line which is going to execute next, symbolized by red arrow. Next. So the line just executed is line number 2, and as soon as it executed, there is a variable y created in the memory with the value John. I hope you are able to understand the execution, what has happened. And this is how exactly Python program runs, line by line. Interpreter, you remember, if we have seen this in the beginning. So print y, next line to execute, next. So you see print output, here 5 has been printed. So this was the line just executed, and this is the line going to execute next and next. John is printed. After that, the program has ended. So there is the next option is not highlighted in. So this is how we can visualize the execution, the backend operation of any Python code. And it is very helpful for beginners to understand the backend operation. And it is very important to do, right? To become a good software developer or a data scientist or any Python developer, we need to understand how does a program execute in the backend. That is what helps you to manipulate any code, edit it according to your own perspective, right? So this is about Python tutor, yeah, to help you visualize the code. Coming back to the basic, right? So variable do not need that to be declared with any particular type. Now this operation, this functionality of Python is called dynamic typing. Okay, so for example, if I come here, if you have studied, you might have studied Java or C, C++, or any other programming language. In many programming languages, we define a variable like this, like int a is equal to 5. Those who have studied it might understand. Now, in this, what happens is we are telling the programming language that we are defining a variable called a, which is of the data type integer having the value 5. But in Python, we simply write a is equal to 5. Now, this feature of Python is called dynamic typing. Means Python itself understand, Python is smart in itself that it can understand the data type of the variable by the value itself. So if I say print a and print type of a, so you will see a is 5 and the type of a is integer class. Now I hope it is making much sense, right? And if you want to see the address of a, print id of a. Okay, so it will throw an error. Why? Here comes another important concept. I defined small a, but I am printing the ID of capital A. So Python is a case sensitive language, and it is giving a very simple error. Name A is not defined. So see, to beginners, to all the beginners who are watching this video, I will recommend you always one thing. If you really want to master Python or learn Python in a good manner, errors should be your best friend, because no matter what, they will always come to you. Every day, every time you run a Python code, errors are something which are inevitable. right? They'll always come, whether you like it or not. So rather than being frustrated from an error, just make it your friend. It's very simple. It is very clearly mentioning that name A is not defined, and it is also symbolizing the line in which the error has occurred. So it is very simple to debug it. So instead of A, I'll say small a and run it now. So this is the memory location of A, the address in the memory, right? So similarly, if I say x is equal to Python and I say print, right? See, instead of A, I'll print x, bracket close, type of x and ID of x. You will see print x, it is printing Python. The type of x is the class string and the memory location is this, right? So this is how we define a variable in Python, and I hope you are able to understand the dynamic typing, correct? So there are some theory related to uh, variable. So to define the variable names, it should not start with an underscore. Sorry, it should start with a letter or an underscore only. It should not start with a number or any other symbol. And variable names are case sensitive. It cannot be any Python keywords. Even if you define Python keywords as variable names, you might yourself get confused. So it's a good practice not to use any Python keyword like print, type, ID. These are Python keywords which have a specific meaning in the language. Not to use these keywords as variable names, right? So these are just some good practices which you should follow, and you can see the sample code here, right? And yeah, so Python variables, there is one more thing which is typecasting. Now, what is typecasting? Typecasting means to change the data type of one variable from one to another. Like for example, if I say a is equal to 5 and I say b is equal to str in string of a, and I say c is equal to float of a, print okay, let me just print all of them actually. Yeah, so I'll print a first, then I'll print b, and then I'll print c. So c, right, and here I'll print b. So just meanwhile I'm writing this, just try to tell the code, tell the output of this code in the comment section. What will be the output of this program? See, so first a, b, c. So a is a 5, which is integer, but I can convert this integer into a string by using this function str bracket a. It will convert a into string. Similarly, float bracket a. It will convert the float into a into float. So 5 when converted to float will look like 5.0. String when converted to float will look like 5 only, but in the backend it is now stored as in a single quotes like this. Like this, right? So this is about conversion, type conversion. So see, a is an integer type and the variable location is this. This is string, the class is a string, and the variable location address is this. This is float and the address is. So this concept of in Python is called typecasting, changing the data type of one variable from one to another. Simple. Now there is a quick exercise, mind exercise. If I say s is equal to Akshat, which is my name, and if I want to convert print int of s or print float of s, what do you think will be the output? Take out 5 seconds, think about it, and let me know your answer with timestamp in the comment section. This will throw an error. Let me show you. See, invalid literal for int with base 10 Akshat. So basically what is happening, Akshat is a combination of letters, a string data type. It cannot be converted into number. We cannot change the characteristic from string to number. Then you'll say, sir, how can we convert a string, integer into string? Yeah, because this can be stored like this, but Akshat cannot be stored in a numerical fashion, like 1, 2, 3, 4. No, not possible. That is why these conversions are not possible. So typecasting is possible in some cases, but in some cases it is not possible. any numeric value can be converted into string, but all string values cannot be converted into numerics. So this is one concept to learn, and this is not something to cram. It is practically impossible. We cannot convert the characteristic, right? So these are some concepts about the variables: assign multiple values, output global variables, etc. Right? Now there is one more thing which I want to tell you about is data type. Data types means type of data stored in a variable, right? So for example, x is equal to 5, and when you say type of x, it will give you nothing but the data type of x, that is integer. It's very simple. Now the concept here which we want to understand is that there are lots of data types in Python, like text values, the data type is a string. For numeric data values, the data types are like integer, float, and complex. Complex is something which we have studied in mathematics basic, which has some real part and an imaginary part. Sequence collection data types are like list, tuple, and range. Mapping data type, where we have the values like key value, like a dictionary. So dictionary is the name of the data type itself. Set, then boolean, true or false, and so none type bytes and all, right? How do we check the data type of any variable? By the type function. I hope we already know this. So this is just about the data types in Python. Number casting we have studied. Now directly jumping to the strings, which is very important data type in Python. If I go to W3 Geeks for Geeks also, in introduction, input and output, Python variable. Okay, so if we see about the variables in Geeks for Geeks, yeah, so we have pretty much covered everything. So just revise it from here also, practice some exercises, and do not only see the exercises. Guys, there is very important recommendation and from my side, because I have trained more than 1,000 students offline, in online and offline manner. And what I have observed is, uh, at a student level, what we think that we have read from the website, we have watched 2 3 YouTube videos, and that is okay. That is sufficient for us to learn. No, that is not. Trust me, that is not. After watching this video, you have to practice it. You have to copy the code from here or my notebook or any other data source and implement it in your notebook. Try to run the code, execute the code, and play with the code. Play, when I say play with the code, means edit the code and try to see the output, right? That's how you learn. That's how you observe, right? And absorb the information. So that is very important, right? So just execute all of these. After this, if you go to the Python fundamentals and data types, so the different data types are numerics, string, and all. So yeah, this is a very important chart and help us to understand. Numeric for integer, dictionary, we have dictionary data types. Then in numerics, we have float, complex number, and integer. Then we have boolean. Then we have set, and then we have sequence data type, collection data, right? So which sequence data type is something which we are going to study next, just after some time. So meanwhile, just revise variables and data types. Unless you feel confident in these two beginner level concepts, uh, practice it and then move forward with the next topic. And the next topic in our series will be strings. Strings in Python. I'll make it a markdown here quickly. And what are strings? As I already told you, anything which we put into single or double quotes, like x is equal to Akshat is a boy, right? So what is this? This is a string. That dash, he is a data analyst, right? So what is this? This is nothing but a string. Now a string can have one letter, one word, one sentence, multiple sentences, or a large string. For example, y is equal to, I will write the same string here, but not in single line. I can make it in multiple lines. But then you see there is a difference. Python is not able to identify this much part. Why? Because whenever the string is in multiple lines, we have to define it into triple double quotes like this. Triple double quotes. And I have to close it here like this. So now this is how Python identifies that this y is a string. See? And whatever we put it into single quotes, double quotes, or triple double quotes will be considered as string. So for example, m is equal to Akshat. Now this time double quotes, right? Now the purpose of double quote or single quote is similar unless there is an apostrophe in your sentence. Akshat's profession is teaching. So since if we have apostrophe here, and if I make it into single quotes, Python will be confused that the beginning of this string is from here only, but where does it end? Does it end after Akshat or does it end after teaching? Python will be confused if I use the single quotes here. That is why whenever in your sentence there is any apostrophe, always use double quotes so that Python can identify difference between double quotes and single quotes, right? So that is about just defining a string and single quotes, double quotes and all. We already know how to check the data type of this string variable and all. Now the next thing is, how does Python store any string in the backend? This I will tell you through my notes. See, so if I write x is equal to Python Akshat, in the backend, in the memory, this string is always stored in the manner of using indexing. Actually, indexing means the indexes which we see in our books, chapter 0, chapter 1, chapter 2, 3, so on and so forth, which helps us to traverse through the book, which helps us to reach to any chapter in an efficient manner. In a similar manner, in Python, strings are stored like using indexing. Like this A will be at the index of 0. Indexing always starts from 0. Just remember this thing. It starts from 0. This K will be at the index of 1. S will be at the index of 2. H will be at the index of 3. A will be at the index of 4. And T will be at the index of 5. This is how any string is stored in Python. So if you say, sir, Y is equal to Akshat space Python, then how does this store in backend? Again, similar manner. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This space will be 6. P will be 7. Y will be 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. This is how the string is stored in the backend. Correct? Now, if I say print Y square bracket 2, what do you think will be printed? The value at the second index, which is S. It will print S. Let us see this practically right here. So we have already defined a variable M, right? So let us play around with it. So print M of bracket 3. See H. Why? Because A will be at the 0th index, 1 will be at the K, S will be at the second index, and H will be at the third index. 0, 1, 2, 3. See 3. If I say print M of 2, it will print S. If I say M of 10, you can calculate, it will print R, and so on and so forth. This is how we access each character of a string. Next, print M of 2:7. What does this mean? This is nothing but 2 is the starting position. If I say print Y of, let me just, Y of 2:7, what it will print? It will start from 2. Okay, so inside this square bracket, we can have three things: start, end, and step. So whenever we say 2 to 7 means start from 2, start printing from 2, go till 8. Oh, sorry, 6. One less than the ending parameter. So 2 to 7 means start from 2, go until 6. Example. So if you say 2 to 7, see 0, 1, 2. 2 means S. So it will start from S, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is apostrophe. So you will see it will how much will it print? It will print SHAT apostrophe. So just do some more exercises around it and you will understand it better. This concept in Python is called slicing. In other programming languages, we generally call it as substring. Both are similar. Substring slicing means to cut a smaller part from a large string. Like a pizza, we have a large pizza, we cut it to slices. So similarly in strings. Now imagine, what if I say print M 2 to 16 at a step of 2 means start from 2, go till 15, 1 less than 16 at a step of 2. At a step of 2 means print every alternate characters. Like for example, you start from S, then skip H, print A. So SA, print skip T, print apostrophe, skip S, print space, skip P, print R, skip O, print F, skip E, print S, skip S, print I, and so on and so forth, unless 15, right? So if you see the output, you will see S, then H is skipped, right? Then A is printed, T is skipped, apostrophe is printed, S is skipped, space is printed, this is a space, so on and so forth, right? So every second character. Now just imagine the output of this M 2 colon 20 colon 3. What will it print? Just let me know your answer in the comment section. And guys, do comment. Pause the video and think about this. Run this code into your system and see the output, and then tell me in the your string and the output of this substring. That's how we learn. That's how we practice. And I don't want this tutorial to be just another theoretical tutorial in on the YouTube. It should be a practical tutorial, right? So it will print from 2 to 19 at a step of 3. It will skip 2 characters in between, right? So this is about substrings in Python, slicing. Now just imagine the output of this M. If I say 2 colon, that's all. What it will do, it will start from 2, go till the end. Why? Because I have given the starting parameter, but I have not mentioned the ending parameter. So it's just like a car which knows the starting point but does not know the end point. So it will keep running till the end, till the fuel tank is empty or the road ends or something, right? So beginning we know, to ending we don't. So we will go till the end. Similarly, if I say print M, and we say like this, then what do you think? Here we have given the ending parameter 17, and but we have not given the starting parameter. So it will start from the beginning, that is 0th index. So this will be very similar to this. Try to understand 0 to 70. Both of this will give it the similar result, because in line number 2 we have not given any starting parameter, so it will start from the beginning. So these are some just play around with the slicing in string. I hope you have understood till here, and just do some more exercises here, right? Change the numbers, see the output, just guess it, and then verify whether you have understood it correct or not, right? So this is about slicing in Python, indexing and slicing. Now in indexing, what I have told you till now is in positive indexing. There is one more concept in Python which is called negative indexing. For example, n is equal to Python. So what we have studied is p will be at 0th index, y will be at 1, t, 3, 4, and 5. But if you see indexing from the back end, backside, so n will be at the -1, o will be at -2, h will be at -3, t will be at -4, y will be at -5, and p will be at -6 position. So if you say print n of -2, it will print O, which is very similar to print n of 4, which is again O, right? So this is about negative indexing. Negative indexing is helpful when we have to traverse to any string from the backside, right? So let's see an example. Here, let's say this is a string, print m of -2. -2 will be n. See, because -1 will be g, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, and so on, right? So if you see, n is printed because -2, right? So what happens? Just imagine the output of this m -5 colon -2 chi. Why? Because it will start from -5, so -2, -3, -4. So see, minus 5. So it will start from minus 5 and go till minus 3. So minus 5, minus 4, minus 3 will be printed. Minus 2 will not be printed, and G, so of course, it will not be printed, right? So this is how negative indexing works in Python. So I hope you have understood pretty much about indexing in Python.